points change the yeah, we're going to talk about the SLB and how terrible this thing is. This was a bad change. I mean, Lube put out an excellent video on it yesterday, sort of looking at it from two different point perspectives, from an Ops 56 player and from an Ops 46 player, just seeing how much the point totals went up and how bad the events are now. If you didn't see it yet, it's definitely worth checking out. He's got some great little Excel graphics that kind of show what it was for Shaxx just a couple weeks ago versus what it is now, and how much more in the way of resources are needed to do the SMS, to hit the milestones. Now, I'm sure the counter argument to that is, well, last month it was just Shaxx shards, and that was just it. You only got the epic. This month you're getting the epic and the rare officer in the same event, so we had to make it more expensive. Did you? Did you really have to make it more expensive? But I know a lot of people are justifiably PO'd at the costs associated with some of this stuff. Where is it? Here we go, back here. The fact that they changed the cost of G3 and G4 materials, uncommon, basically making them all incredibly diminished in their point capacity. You know, this account is Ops 42. This is all I have to spend are these materials. Maybe I've got a little bit of rare in a couple places that I can put it, but for the most part, my only options are to spend these types of materials. Looking at these point values, the most effective thing for me to do would be to spend epics or G5 rares and things like that. But as an Ops 42 player, the only way you have access to any of those materials is to buy primes, some of which you might not even be able to do. So if the only realistic way, you can slap the heroic on it all you want, the only realistic way for low 40s or high 30s level players to complete even some of these events is to buy primes, like what kind of bonkers scoring system is that? Congratulations. You already had a huge amount of your player base really ticked off at you because of the way the cube rolled out, the way the patch rolled out, and all the other glitches and bugs that have persisted for the last week. Let's just pour some more gasoline on the fire and completely screw over a large percentage of your player population who are existing between 39 and 46, who now don't feel like they can compete in this event. They have a shot in heck at even completing this. Congratulations. Awesome job. Your whole incentive of trying to push players to move up from the 50s into the 60s, where they get all these extra values for their points, isn't going to work, because those people were already going to do that. They didn't need to be incentivized by the point scoring from this event. But you you screwed over everybody else to do it. And you only incentivized these players. So if you are not moving from 59 to 60 to 61 in this ARC launch, just skip this event. It's just not worth doing. Unless you have like an upgrade you were sitting on and you're ready to go, and you really want to keep making progress, keep making progress. But just don't think that you're really going to get much out of it for doing it, because of how much they've jacked this up. Now, granted, the first milestone here is 7 data shards, which isn't bad for an entry-level milestone. But how much is that actually going to cost you to get there? I mean, even if we just do this real quick, I need 725,240 points. If I'm doing G4 on commons, which is a bulk of what I can spend, upgrading buildings or even any of my specialty ships at 30 points apiece, I got to spend 25,000, 24,000 and change. G4 uncommon materials for 7 data shards. no. Just no, right? Just no. Oh, wait, I could spend some G3 rares. Yeah, maybe I could spend some G3 rares. There we go. 725, 240 divided by 75 points apiece. Well, that's only 10,000 G3 rare material. Where exactly am I putting 10,000 G3 rare materials? It certainly isn't into, leveling up a ship to scrap. That's not going to use that much rare material. So even if I had those materials, let's come over here and just look at it. Where am I putting it? Where would I put that much rare material? Even if I had a D4 or something like that. Leveling up one all the way to max would require about that base cost, 9,500. That would be base cost. But I'm not paying base cost. I'm paying, 30, 40, 50% reduced because of research efficiencies. So now what? I have to build and level up 2 epics at Ops 42 because I just have all those materials and blueprints and stuff just lying around. Oh, I'll get some points from the uncommons as well. Well, no, not really. Because how bad is the uncommon payout here? Oh, right, that's right. I'm only getting 20 points apiece for those. It's just terrible. It's terrible. It's tone deaf, and it really just, shines an even brighter light on what we all knew already anyway. This arc is all about G6. It's all about pushing people through the 50s into the 60s, where the economy is so beyond crazy expensive between what the materials cost, what it costs to speed things up, and the timers on things, that they've just put the foot on the gas pedal all the way, and they're just driving it straight through into the bank. They're not even going up to the counter and trying to hey, let me slip you a note that says fill the bag with the cash. They're just driving the truck right through the wall and let's just grab all the things we can and get out of here before this place, comes crashing down around us. And it's really a shame. And, you know, it's not like you had a lot of goodwill over the last couple of months built up that you could afford to kind of have, an event tank, or you could play around with some different scoring mechanics and try some new things. It's like you have no goodwill banked up. The last 3 months have been terrible. This ARC launch was the worst I can remember. And we're still dealing with bugs and glitches weeks later. What's that? You want to have a seizure? Oh, just go look at some of those new Voyager systems. That'll get you right there. And now you go and do something like this too. It's I don't even know what else to say at this point. It's just horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. Let me catch up on some comments now that I'm done with my rant, at least for a minute. Can't we just pretend we're happy? No. Do I care about these officers to begin with? Yes. I think there's definitely some value in getting bonus rewards from, Picard data. Plus, they both have isolytic cascade damage, which seems to be the way, the trend is going in terms of multipliers on top of multipliers for power creep. So they're really stacking up the damage through this isolytic cascade mechanic. And if you have your Voyager officers tiered up enough, it can be really, really spectacularly strong. This event reminds me of war games. The best move is not to play. That's pretty accurate there, Voltron. That is pretty accurate. Nez doesn't like it. Olympus doesn't like it. Cookie thinks it's BS. Yep. It's just about buying packs. Yep. Uh-huh. Fully agree. Yep. Yep. And then plus they did multiple material spend auctions over the last couple months. People burning down their houses for the insurance money. Yeah. Darth, you had your spending all planned out, and then you started spending it before you even noticed the change. Yeah, I had that happen on this account too, on 42. I had these two buildings right here that I wanted to finish up to get everything to 42 here, so I could do some. Just because some of them require specific research. This requires like the foundry at 42, or the astronaut or the defense technologies building at 42. And I was like, perfect. I've got the 4-star uncommon gas. I'm just going to use it. I'm going to knock out these couple of buildings here real quick. And then I was like, I just spent like 5,000 gas. Like, why do I have so little points? Oh, because they completely changed the scoring mechanics, and it's not 100 points apiece. It's 30 points apiece. Shame on me for not reading the event that has scored exactly the same way for however long. Well, that was a different era. That was in the G5 era. This is the G6 era, so we've completely changed all of our scoring mechanics, to usher in this new season. Fine. You got me. My bad. Mm-hmm. Yep. Remember when SMSs were good, like back with like Janeway and the Doctor? Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Pretty bad stuff. Voodoo, you're happy it's crappy for everybody and not just you? Well, I mean, we're all universally hating this event. I mean, all you gotta do is go on Discord and read that for the last 2 days, and it's nothing but people posting screenshots with, WTF following it. Because, you know, like I could understand it more if it was like ops based. Like if me as an ops 55 player had these diminished point values for G3 materials. Great, I'm Ops 55. I probably shouldn't be spending these anymore. I'm okay with you knocking these down to encourage me to, not really allow me to use G3 materials on ships I'm going to scrap to get, very far along in some of these milestones. Okay, I could get behind that as an Ops 55 player. Force me to spend, maybe G4 isn't as drastic of a cut. Instead of like 30, maybe it went from 100 to like, 70 or something like that. You did a little bit of a reduction because, hey, you're Ops 55. You should have most of that stuff done. We'll give you some credit for it. Maybe we'll give you, keep the points at the higher end stuff because you might still be finishing up some of that or still upgrading those ships to those highest level tiers, for your Borg cube, which you might need to do. But we really want you focusing on spending materials that are somewhere in the level bracket of where you as a player should be. Fine, I'll give you that. But to make it universal across the board and to completely, screw over your 30s and 40s ops players by making their points so diminished, and I get you try and say that you lowered the thresholds on these point totals as well for what's required, but you really didn't do the math very well. Shocker, I know. And Lube pointed that out perfectly with his two graphics, which I'm actually going to pull up here in just a second. Let's go to that right now. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to Lube's video. I apologize for the ads. So this is right here. This is him at Ops 56. This was last month's milestone to get Shax. This is what this month's milestone is. Now, granted, again, you're getting Picard and Data, so you're getting more officer shards. So obviously there's got to be something here that would have weighted this event more. But even just looking at what he would need to spend, G4 uncommon basically tripled. So they've pretty much priced him out of it. G5 rare, okay, you're talking about the same. He actually gets a little bit of a price break if he was just using G4 rare to finish all these milestones, because the milestone point value went down. Not sure where you're getting all that G4 rare materials to have 125,000 of it just lying around. G5 uncommon, that's kind of where he should be, right, in his level bracket, spending some G5 uncommons on stuff. That went up. G4 rare went down a little bit, though, because he's getting more point value here. So really what they want him spending is G5 rare in order to finish this event. And other than buying packs, you know, it's a very slow sourcing mechanic for some of this stuff to get G5 rare materials. We can look at the scrapyard and see if there's anything that's actually worth scrapping that would pay out G5 rare, but I don't know that there really is. Or you're buying a prime or something like that, or you're buying packs to get those materials. But he also compares it in this video, see if I can find the screenshot, at what, level 46. Here we go. So here's a level 46 account. Here's the top milestone. Last month it was 14,000. This month it's 7 million, rather. So they cut the milestones in half. Said, hey, we know you're going to need to get to it. Now, this is the same milestone that I think I have. Slightly lower, buying 7.25 at 42. At 46, it's 7.33 million. Shout out to Lube and Stewie for putting these together and putting these graphics together. But basically, we're right in the same wheelhouse, the same bracket, right? I need 70,000, 80,000 fewer points. G3 uncommon, nope. That's a ridiculous number. G3 rare, that's a pretty ridiculous number too. 97,000. Where am I getting 97,000 G3 rare from? How about G4 uncommon, the resource I should be spending the most of as an Ops 42 player? 240,000 is what I would need. Look at that price increase right there to finish this event. 100,000 extra G4 rare from last month to this month. That just ain't happening. So the only way I'm going to get this event done is to use G4 rare or to buy packs to get G5 materials and spend some of those on primes and other researches. It's really just primes because nothing else I can really do is going to fit in here. Ridiculous. And again, thanks to Lube and Stewie for putting this information together. But these numbers are just absurd. And I can only imagine how much worse they are for players who are in their 30s. Let's go look at the SMS. Let's go to stfc.space. Let's go look at the event. Nope, wrong tab. Events. Recruit, Picard, Heroic, SMS. Well, looking right here. An Ops 20 to 25 player needs 90,000 points to complete this. You're getting 20 points apiece. So what's that? 4,500 G3 uncommon as an Ops 21, 22 player. Where are you getting that material from? How are you possibly, as an Ops 21, 22, 23 player, going to have 4,500 G3 uncommon materials? And where are you even going to put it? Because it doesn't take that much to level up a Vaklis or a Kumari. You can max one of them things out for half of that. So where are you getting the rest of these materials? And you move into the next level bracket here. Let's go, 35 to 36. You just got your epic, right? You're thinking about what do I want to do? How do I want to get this? 653,000 points is what you need. Same crappy scoring mechanic. This is all you can spend at that level. So 653,000, you need 33,000 G3 uncommon material. Where are you going to, even if you had 33,000, where are you going to spend it? Where are you going to put it to do this? So the whole event is just complete garbage, rubbish, if you will, to coin a phrase from our UK friends. And it, you know, the high, lofty expectations that people had and the excitement and exuberance that people had when they found out, like, hey, we're getting a Borg cube and this is going to be this amazing anniversary month, just flush that right down the toilet. So, absolutely, absolutely horrible way. Hopefully next weekend is better. Ransom caused an uproar. He was added to the last Billups milestone. And that could be a thing, of course, right? This, this weekend, this thing was entirely designed solely to make the whales move from 59.60 into the 61.62 and get those players moving. So we incentivized them not to be able to spend lesser materials. The only way that they could score in this and get the officers, which we know they want because they get all the officers all the time, was for them to do the thing that they were going to do and upgrade. And basically telling everybody else, if you want this, you're going to have to spend a lot of money for it. Otherwise, you can just sit it out and that's fine. We don't care. We only really care about them right now. We want them to do all the spending that they were going to do anyway, that they've already done a lot of anyway, you know, just for hoo-ha's, because we're looking at fun stuff this morning. If we go to stfc.wtf, we start looking at power. Well, would you look at this? Would you look at all these 63s? These players were already on the move. 64 even. Wow, would you look at that? We've already got a 64. Nikki Blaze, Theep, congrats. You're both level 64. And here we've got a bunch of 63s floating around. I mean, they're already out there building their Akiras. Or whatever other ship they're after. So maybe that's what this was. Maybe this was entirely 100% their event, and the rest of us should just take the weekend off, go do some pumpkin picking or whatever, start getting the house decorated for the holidays, throw up a 2-3 day shield, and just be like, yeah, okay, whatever. When you have something for me, call me, because I'm not wasting my time with any of this other stuff. Rotko, you got your battle pass. Excellent. Hopefully it helps with material sourcing. If they warned us ahead, well, if they warned us ahead of time on so many things, yeah. No, you weren't supposed to have audio, Olympus. I was just pausing it just to show screenshots. Nothing pays out G5 rare and scrapyard. Well, even better. Yep. Even if you could get all exactly, where would you spend those materials? Just absolutely terrible. 653,000 for an ops 35. Exactly. I mean, they slapped the heroic on it, so they think they can. That just means we can make the point totals whatever we want, because we called the event heroic, which means we're telling you most people shouldn't be able to finish this event. That's what heroic means to us, is that we're not intending this event for people to be able to finish it without spending money. Mm-hmm. Yep, people are on the move. Yep. Start looking for another game. This is reminding of the Monavine. It's just for the spenders and nobody else. Wales just said we're going to spend when we want to, not on Scopely's schedule. Good for them. Bel Air, you completed the heroic SMS? Well, congrats for you. If you had yourself in a good spot where you could spend a lot of, you know, basically G4 rare materials. It's kind of where you need it to be. As long as we're talking about spending efficiently and spending effectively, don't forget that Monday there is a syndicate event coming up. So get your timers, get your cooldowns lined up, because you're probably going to need to be double pulling Mantis Syndicate XP, and you're probably going to need at least 3 pulls. If the way the scoring metrics are so bonkered, it wouldn't surprise me if that's barely enough to get you to like the first milestone. So make sure, if that means you have to skip today's pull so it lines up better for tomorrow, then please do that. Go out there, start hunting your Axions, stock up on mats so you can do that double pull, because you're going to need it. And there's another one the following Monday as well. So there's 2 syndicate events this month. Line it up right. Don't claim your battle pass or anything like that.